I'm going to show you what BEPRO needs to do in order to get a pump, when to start being worried about polk price action, and what expectations to have with PDEX. Let's dive into it. I wasn't going to make a BEPRO video today, but I know you itchy, scratchy crypto folks, you need something to stare at. Stop looking at the charts, so you might as well stare at a 𝘃𝐬𝐬𝐼 video. All right, here we go. So very simply put, BEPRO, weekly chart. So do I always suggest staring at the weekly chart? Primarily, no. Do I almost always suggest that you start on the weekly chart, or at least know what your outlook is on the weekly? Yes, starting with the weekly chart is very smart. And yes, I have a Mickey Mouse hat on. All right, so the weekly chart really not only is your starting point, but for the next couple of weeks, it's probably all you need to look at. Unless you're trading, intraday using the 1 hour time frame, okay. But take a look at what I'm going to show you here. Bare naked price, no EMAs. So BEPRO is going to have an obstacle around these candle structures here and around the 2 wick highs created there. Okay. And honestly, this wick low kind of supports this box idea. So will BEPRO have trouble getting over that area? No, I don't think so. But what the slowdown is that this, so you see these 2 candles here? You see these 4 candles here? Similar to how, if you've been following my Trias Veracity Multivac videos, which I hope you do, BEPRO fans, even if you don't give it 2 shits about those 3 coins. I mean, price action in crypto, especially altcoins, only has a certain number of ways it moves, a certain number of ways it consolidates, a certain number of ways it drops, right? Corrects, whatever. Should watch those videos because it's going to apply to BEPRO as well. But anyway, you just need a candle closure here, somewhere in this box. And can this week do it? I think it will. If it doesn't, then next week very likely will. And then after it closes, so let me be very specific. If this week closes and the next one begins, right, below the box, and you see it blast off, that's a good 20 bag opportunity. And if 20 bag does not make sense, then go ahead. Which way is it? Yes. Click this link here. It's a type of sell strategy in which you keep 80% of your bag, of each individual bag that you might be buying and selling. You keep 80% of your BEPRO safe while practicing and or accumulating more crypto with other people's money with 20%. Click the link that was up there. And if you don't know how to set up a chart and you don't know what an EMA is and all this stuff looks unfamiliar to you because you're new to crypto, you need to click this link that's popping up right now. How to set up a chart. It's going to make so much more sense. And the words that are coming out of my mouth are going to make so much more sense. And when you watch other people about price, everything's going to make more sense. You need to stop. If you're new, I know retail folks, retail means you're new. Second wave of retail is here. If you're new, just stop this video and watch those. If you've already been with me for a while, let's keep charging. Let's keep rocking and rolling. All right. So very specifically, if this week closes outside or under that box and the next week flies up, that's a good 20 bag opportunity. Why? Because you need a week to close close to this area first before a sustainable blast off. Very similar to how I said on Trias. Trias was in a consolidation. It needed to close at a line similar to this. I said before a big green week happened, I said, if it gets close to like equivalently 15 bucks, that's a good 20 bag. What happened? With no candle closures above, the next week just flew up, almost hit that line, and it came right back down close to the line. So that's what I'm saying. So if you get a closure in here, then the next week you fly, I don't think sell targets up above are going to be great 20 bag opportunities because I think BEPRO might fly. But if there is no closure of the week literally ended and the next one has begun, right? If there is a weekly closure, not a good time to be trying to 20 bag necessarily, but if there has not been one and it flies, that's when you're looking for 20 bag opportunities. So all that BEPRO needs to do is close 1 week above here, then it can be liftoff. Literally, potentially green candles to all-time highs, or maybe 2 to 3 red candles, throughout now till late December for all-time highs, something to that effect. But the move will commence most likely when you get a weekly close somewhere in this box, and it's likely going to close in this box. So if you see a week before any candle closure go way above. I can't say this enough because I know it kind of sounds confusing. If there hasn't been a closure and it goes way above the box, it's a good sell opportunity because it's probably going to close in the box. Does that make sense? All right. So let's move on to Polk. Polk has been flying. As we're diving in here, flip your phones or get flipped off. What does that even mean, Tim? Flip your phone, hit the dang like button. If you don't, you get flipped off. That's what it means. Also, see this bell right here? Freaking hit it. Actually, yours is probably down here. Freaking hit it. Why should you hit it? Because a lot of this crypto stuff's time sensitive. And if I'm going to help you walk through a more profitable crypto journey, you need to hit the bell. Rock and roll. All right, let's dive back in. Tim, that's at BEPRO. Yay! All right, so let's get some Polk now. So look at what happened here. There's no consolidation, but the same type of idea with the weekly in mind. As I touch my Mickey Mouse hat, with the weekly candle in mind. I cannot stress this enough. If you see a fresh week that's green, another green, and it races up to a very clear horizontal, right? And I set these horizontals for my Patreon group. Then that it increases the statistical probability that selling a 20 bag there is going to work. You will be able to buy more crypto because it's going to ping off of it and go lower. Could it go a little bit higher first? Who cares? You sell there, you buy low. You sell high, you buy low, right? And look what happened. This week raced from one horizontal to another intra week, raced up to it. And it was, I drew this line before it hit it, folks. I did not draw this line after this happened. All right. And I have like 500 patrons to back me up on that. Recorded videos, everything. So it doesn't always hit it that perfectly. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it comes up short. Sometimes it screams past. Sometimes it wicks past, then goes 30% below. But had you kept the weekly in mind, no, wait, it just raced up midweek to a line with no consolidation. It's probably going to bounce off there. I should probably sell 20% of my, or 10% or whatever you're comfortable with. And now you have a 26% discount and you have more crypto with other people's money because somebody who didn't know what they're doing bought your crypto. And now you're buying somebody who's panic selling. You use two other people's money to get more crypto without using your money. Do you see that? Very simple 20 bag theory. But this is a very special weekly candle structure, similar to what I'm anticipating could happen with BEPRO if it gets too hot before a candle closure in that green box. This was a great scenario of using the understanding of the weekly candles and what they can and can't do as they race to your levels. Now, when would be not a good idea? Imagine this never got that high. Imagine this week just like closes here, right? So this week and the next week closes here. And the next week after that closes here. And this line's never touched. Would this horizontal then be a good 20 bag opportunity? And this is not just for Polk, for any asset, apply this to anything, right? That's why even if you're not a Polk fan, you should watch this portion of it. Like this is going to apply to your other bags that you want and you want to accumulate with two other people's money, right? So the answer to that question is no. That is price creeping up to a horizontal. It's been slow and steady. So when it gets there, it has a strong chance of flying past and going to the next horizontal, in which that next horizontal will be a great 20 bag opportunity, right? So really, Polk, I think, is on the weekly scale probably going to move straight up, which I started saying back here at the beginning of this candle, right? I said it when it was touching the daily 200 EMA. And I said, this chart looks exactly like MTV's. Look, see this W? See how this looks like a W? I said it back here. I said, I think it's going to race up right to here before all this big move happened, right? I don't know how many of you saw that video. I should have pulled it up and had it prepared for you to watch. But if you look at MTV, multivac, even though this is not a multivac video, I totally get it. I simply want to show you evidence that there are only a certain amount of ways that crypto can move. Once you view enough coins, you will realize they all move the same. It's just depending on what moments they move the same. Look, W. Straight up. You see this? There you go. Like, I think that's what Polk's going to do. Like, literally no red weekly candles until it hits all-time highs. And then it might correct a little bit. But it'll probably fly past the first. It might do the exact same thing as MTV has done. I'm serious. Because now, once it gets here though, then you have like 5 other options of how Polk price will deal with its line. But until there, it's probably going to move almost identically to this, which means on the weekly scale, green candles until you hit the line. Then after that, then you do have literally like you're going to have to pick your 5 most probable scenarios. And then that kind of resets, the count resets in terms of probabilities of how likely it's going to move, just like MTV once it hits this line, right? So that counter will reset, or that statistical probability will reset. I want to be very clear with what I'm saying for that portion. All right. So Polk, once again, you could try trading this to accumulate money with other people's money on lower time frames. And typically, the easiest way to do that is just use an EMA, the 200, figure out which time frame it's using. So start with the 4-hour. Is it pinging a lot off that line where you can make 2 trades, 3 trades a week, 1 trade a day? No. It's hardly ever touching it. Go down. 2-hour. How many times has it touched it? 3 times in the last 25 days. Not enough. Go down 1. How many times has it touched it? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in the past 20 days. Is that enough? Yeah. It's probably a good one to use. Try the 30-minute. Even better. Honestly, this is a really great, it's using the 30-minute with dips. So I wouldn't, so if you were trying to use this to trade, buy, sell slowly without worrying about selling tops, I would probably try to catch dips, specific dips under the 30-minute 200 EMA. And I would not buy it the first candle that it goes. I would wait, like look how many hours this is, or like maybe even a day. I don't know. It's 12 hours. It stayed under there for 12 hours. So the first time it goes, like you could snag it there, but I would wait because it could go a little bit lower. Like the first candle, look, you could have bought it way down here, which is what percent difference? That's a 5% difference, right? And here it's a way bigger difference if you just waited, not the first candle, right? But just kind of like ease into it, 14% difference. But honestly, the 30. So will this always be using the 30-minute chart? No, that's only when a move is really aggressive. Pretty soon it's going to dip significantly under this 200 EMA on the 30-minute. And that's when you know you need to go up a time frame, either to the 1-hour or even the 2-hour. That means the move is going to start slowing down, maybe not consolidating and stopping, but it's going to slow down. And there will be a point that it's doing it. But as of now, just using the 1-hour or the 30-minute 200 EMA, if you wanted to make multiple trades a week, that's it. Now, how would you sell? I don't know. Just there are lots of ways to sell. But one way you don't sell is worrying about selling the top. You don't do that. You don't care. You only want to sell at a point in which it's likely, statistically likely, you can buy back lower. That's all that matters. So how do you do that? Very simple. Just literally take your measuring tool and measure from the bounce. How high did each of these go? 61%. Right. I might start trading this. Holy, those are big trades, folks. That's a normal one. 30. Wow. Whoa. Why am I not trading this?
Tim, are you essentially like exposing yourself as somebody who is like, do as I say, not as I do?
Not necessarily. I'm discovering this right now, but I play this on things like BEPRO. I use this trick quite a bit. I just haven't thought about doing it with Polk, but maybe that is a mistake. Honestly, this is more profitable than even pissing around with futures, if there's enough liquidity. So if you're dealing with like $20,000 that you're trying to buy and sell, you probably can't do it with this. But if you're like, you want to practice with, I don't know, $1,000 or less or something, this chart could actually end up, this would be really profitable. Holy crap. And again, you don't focus on selling the heights. You just measure what's the average pump and do I have a statistical edge that it will go lower than where I sold. And a good way to do that is to measure the average of each of these pumps and to sell around the average. That's it. That's all you do. And if there's a weekly horizontal overhead that's above the average, well, you can make the assumption that it actually might race up to there and try to hit it and kind of break the average rule, which is what happened here. See that? Weekly horizontal with 2 wicks, 3 wicks. It raced up there and kind of went like triple the distance. But now it's probably going to go back to the average pump. and then maybe consolidate and start using the 1 hour, because it's probably going to start slowing down under this line a little bit on smaller time frames, but not on the weekly. I'm anticipating all the weeks being great. All right, so that's what we got for Polk. You actually got a little bit more information than what I typically give, but you are rewarded. You are rewarded for staying this far into the video. I'm going to start giving a little bit more and more goodies closer to the ends of the videos. FYI, heads up. Those who put the work in, you will be rewarded. I'm not going to just fluff these videos up with BS, right? All right, so let's dive into PDEX. And those transitions are a little choppy because my main computer decided to poop out on me, or the graphics card or something. It's not the power source, but very expensive computer I got directly from a computer building company, and I'm not happy about it. So I'm using a gaming laptop. So sorry, those transitions aren't quite as smooth. All right, anyway, PDEX, what you can look out for is, it's going to be hard to play. I've already covered this once because it's still in its zone, but you see how I had this line here before it got hit on this week? Okay, watch. Let's zoom in to the week. Look at that. Wow. So typically when you race from the bottom of a channel to the very top, when you definitely have lines in the middle of key areas of importance, top of the range is typically a good sell point. I did that with Polk, and that Polk was the exception. Polk actually blasted through it and didn't come back down. So it doesn't always work. And I thought it was going to work for Polk, but here it worked perfectly. So whenever you see a clear trading channel like we have here, and price simply races to the top without slowing down, you have a strong statistical edge that you can sell the top of that range and buy back lower, therefore 20 bag it. When do I buy back, Tim? Well, just look at where you have a lot of humps under that, like here, 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 here. Great. So let's draw a line there. Crazy. Where did it come down to? Holy cow. That's simple, right? Like trading is really simple. You can use structures, and that's just the middle of the range. So previous resistance, see how there's resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Once it gets above, what happens? It naturally comes back down to test that support. That's just how crypto moves. And it's all crypto. It's Bitcoin, right? It all moves that way, right? So anyway, sometimes you can't get burned. Like I got burned on Polk. I sold a wick above. It didn't hit my buy target because it barely went down anything. It just screamed up. So it doesn't work perfectly every time, but I did have a statistical edge, and I'm glad I took the trade. And if I saw another asset, kind of like PDEX, go from bottom to top without slowing down, I will still make that trade because I have an edge. Even knowing that it's possible it doesn't work, you simply follow the plan. And over time, if you have that edge, you will make money, period. That's all you care about. Does this have a trading edge? Do it every time until it loses its edge, if it ever loses its edge. A lot of these tactics never will lose their edge. It'll always stay the same, because one thing that's constant within price movement is that people's psychology never changes. The players coming to the market change, yes, but people's psychology never changes, ever. Like since the dawn of human beings, it doesn't change. So therefore, there are a lot of things in trading that will always work, even if it's the price of oil or black market testicles. I'm telling you. All right. So the one tricky thing, again, with Polk is we don't have a clear weekly horizontal. This is the only thing with this. I can't tell you with a strong edge which one single line that PDEX has to close above. So it's either got to close above 26.77 or above 25.37. Then the pump will commence. I don't know which line it's going to be. And so where that could be tricky is, let's say this week closes above the bottom line, but not the top, right? And then the next week blasts off. You can't be super certain that that's a great 20 bag opportunity, because if this line truly was the line it needed to close over, then that's allowed, and it can just keep going week after week. Therefore, it's not a great sell point. So this one will be harder to 20 bag based off that, unless this week closes in here and the next one closes above the top line, then you can know, wait, it's allowed to blast off, right? Or if this week closes down here, and then without a nice closure close to the top line, it just blasts off, you could, that actually would be a great 20 bag opportunity because you don't have a closure above either of these lines. So it's not like, if you can see me down in the small box where my face is, quote unquote, it's not allowed to blast off. So there are scenarios where this could be, you could have a statistical edge, but if a week closes above the bottom line and not the top, that's going to make it tricky, and it probably takes away your edge on 20 bagging. So I would be careful about 20 bagging if you do get a weekly closure above the top line, but not or above the bottom line, but not above the top line, and then the next week flies. I don't know if I would try it. Maybe 10 bag, like reduce your risk of exposure to the upside at flying past. That's pretty much the best suggestion that I'd give you with PDEX. New viewers, if you are new to crypto, I'm telling you, if you just blew through that, if you blew through the little link that I had up here earlier about setting up a chart and all that stuff, you need to go to my playlist and watch my library videos. It is going to make your crypto journey that much more profitable. And these videos popping up, these are also great starting points to understand how price moves. And it's going to make your crypto journey so much more profitable. I cannot stress enough how important it is that new folks, new to the crypto market, watch those videos and see that bell? Actually, where is it? Damn bell. Fuck it. Where is it? It's down here. Click the darn bell so I can help walk you through a crypto journey that is very profitable and exciting, and you don't get destroyed by red candles. We'll see you later. You just got Tzimified.